So now we know that Stalin was just trying to get so much control. But you know, you're the leader of a country. You need to have some sort of policy that's not killing everyone. It was a propaganda state, right? All the artists had to paint Stalin, or like happy depictions of Stalin. Things that showed Russia in a good light. Have you seen that one where, you know, we did this in class. You know, the one where there's like that man and they're a woman and they're standing on top of a massive metal rod and they fall in love? That's got nothing to do with it, but I'm just saying that's propaganda. So only positive depictions of the Soviet Union and proletariat. Otherwise, not allowed. Yeah, literally you were purged if you didn't do that. Goodbye. Completely idealized Stalin. You know how we said cult of personality? As he was like trying to become like the new revolutionary. Yeah, he was trying to be like in the same league as Lenin, becoming a revolutionary god. This is what he's trying to improve. He's trying to be like, look at my cult of personality. Propaganda allowed him to be idealized and seen as like a heroic figure. Gave everyone unquestionable loyalty and praise for him. This omnipresent like imagery of Stalin being so strong just made him seem like a god. He was the new god. I don't even think religion was a thing, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about the youth, okay? You know, Hitler did this as well. I keep comparing it to Hitler because they're actually very similar. The youth, there's this thing called the Komsomol. Komsomol is basically where all the youth went to do their youthist activities. Oh, Leninist Young League. 10 million members by 1940. Then social changes. Minorities removed. Goodbye, we don't want you if you are a minority. Only Russian culture promoted. This is like literally Germany, but in Russia, okay? Just copy and paste. There was a famine that suppressed minorities. Now, I don't know if that means that Stalin decided that he would create a famine for the minorities, or a famine just happened and minorities suffered. I think it's the second option. 2 million Baltic citizens deported by 1940. Millions of deaths. Basically, loads of people died. German invasion of Russia in 1941. Loads of people died. He wanted, like, not an Aryan race, but a Russian race. He just wanted Russia and Russia. Nothing else. Despite being Gregorian, by the way. Wasn't he Gregorian? Yeah. Or Georgian? I don't really know. Speaking of religion, he was so anti-Semitic. Again, just like Hitler. He pulled Russia away from the Orthodox Church and represented himself as the god. All the places of worship were closed and destroyed, and religious figures were like deported. Goodbye. 1940, he like allowed 500 churches in the country so he could claim that there was some sort of religious freedom, but there actually wasn't. Stalin obviously became the religious figure. This is the effect of propaganda. Cult of personality, hello. Again, education. I mean, education, I don't really think they ever ask us about this in the exam. They're never going to be like, state the effect of education on reinforcing, you know? No one's like, we're going to ask that. But there was reform. School was compulsory until you're 15. Then it was optional, but only if you were the child of a government official. So this is not very socialist of him. And there was state prescribed textbooks, obviously. Like, I'm not really surprised. We speak about women. Now, you can use Stalin for the woman question, but guys, if I'm gonna be honest, I don't recommend it. No. I think I maintain, do Hitler and Mussolini. Mussolini and Hitler, like, did the exact same thing, but it just worked in Hitler's case. Anyway, so Lenin reformed women, more rights. Because Lenin was actually such a W-er for women. He was like, we need equality in this world. Why are we being sexist? He didn't get it. Stalin was like, I agree. Oh no, he didn't agree. Stalin did not agree. He did not like women at all. He was just like, we need to like reverse this. It's called the Great Retreat. Basically, because divorce rates were going up and birth rates were going down, he needed the family to come. This is where the propaganda of the girl and the guy on top of the thing in love is relevant, because he was trying to say you need to fall in love and do all the economic policies that I'm telling you to do. In 1936, he proclaimed equality of women and men, but that's really not the reality. I mean, like, literally every country does this in the world, entirely everywhere. Divorce became hard. It's harder to divorce now. You can't really divorce that much. And abortion, obviously, restricted. I'm not obviously. Women's participation in the workforce did increase 1928 to 1945 by 57%. Amazing. Speaking of World War II, Stalin has had enough of women having rights. So, divorce removed and abortion banned. Mothers with more than 2 kids and remarried would have fewer taxes. Again, this is just like Hitler. Women were like expected to have household responsibilities and in the workforce. So this is not very good. Not very good. In 1945, 500,000 women were in the Soviet army and half of the workforce were women. So this is not very good socially, but they were getting lots of work done, women. Was this a success? Were his social policies a success? This is a good question. First of all, he had full control of bureaucracy. Obviously, obviously. It was just everyone, you have to love Stalin. It was complete authoritarian state, no opposition because of terror, industrialist state, propaganda was massively successful, and other ideologies were outlawed. Basically, he completely achieved authoritarianism, in my opinion. The guy who came after him was like, we need to reverse everything, desalinization. But overall, like, he did create an authoritarian state because nobody was about to oppose him. Did you hear at the start I was talking about all these little oppositions? Nobody's opposing him anymore. The only thing that he changed was the religious thing, but that's only, see, he's just claiming things, but nothing happens. Freedom of religion, no. Freedom, women and men are equal, no. Okay, so he's lying. Anyways.